I'm really impressed at how consistent the Scream franchise has been. Scream 6 is the 5th sequel in the series, and while it's not perfect, it does a lot to keep the formula feeling fresh. The biggest advantage this movie has is its setting. This is the first Scream movie to not take place in Woodsboro. Now we're in New York City, which gave way to a lot of fun sequences. I especially loved that one in the bodega when Ghostface grabs the shotgun. It was really cool to see him use a different weapon for once. I also think the movie does a good job at continuing to develop the new characters while also paying respect to the legacy ones. Although Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott wasn't in this movie, I didn't really miss her presence, which is the same way I felt about Rocky being gone from the last Creed movie. I think the new faces to the franchise, especially Sam, have enough backstory and unique characterization to stand on their own. Honestly, I feel like the franchise's strong cast of characters is a big reason why the series has been able to survive for so long. If you saw in the trailers, there's this Ghostface museum in the movie, and it was really cool seeing how each of the characters reacted differently to artifacts from the past films. Speaking of which, I was happy to see Kirby come back. She was a standout in Scream 4, so it was cool to see her join the new group. I did think she was a bit underutilized, but nevertheless I thought it was a fun idea to have her around, and her inclusion in the story doesn't feel forced. Now I do have a few gripes. One of them being the meta humor in the movie. While I felt that it was handled really well in Scream 5, here it feels like they overused it. The characters in the movie are a little too self-aware that they're in a horror movie, and it doesn't leave much room for subtle suspicions to who the killer is, like in previous films. It's not the biggest problem, but it's something I hope they dial back on in the next movie. My second issue is the unbelievable amount of plot armor some of these characters have. There are a few too many fake out deaths that make it feel like the writers just wanted to have a stacked cast for Scream 7. It kind of ruins the intensity of some of the scenes because someone could get stabbed like 20 times and still come out of an ambulance alive somehow. It's funny because the Ghostface in this movie is probably the most violent we've ever seen him, but the amount of deaths is staggeringly low. And now to my biggest issue, the final twist reveal. To not spoil anything, I'll just say that I found it pretty overly complicated and unrealistic. A lot of the people are tearing apart the logic behind the reveal, but what really bothered me was how similar it was to the ending of a previous Scream movie. When the whole rest of the movie feels so innovative, it was weird that the ending is what they chose to rehash. It reminded me of the disappointment I had when I saw Jigsaw, aka Saw 8. Saw is a horror franchise also known for its crazy twist endings, and while Saw 8 looked like it was going to have a really big twist, it diverted to just copying the twist from Saw 2. So I kind of felt that same vibe in this movie. So yeah, I'm going to give Scream 6 an 8 out of 10. Although it has its issues, I still think it's a really fun time and another win for the Scream franchise.